Okay, we're going to do this now. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Izzy. The topic for this debate is, drumroll please, should spanking be allowed? Spanking can trace back to 1324 BC. Christians point to Proverbs, he who spares the rod hates his child, but he who loves him is diligent enough to discipline him. This practice ranged from Sumer Egypt to China and ancient India, to pre-Columbian America and Athens, Rome. Parents argue that spanking is bad. One cannot deny that spanking is also a good form of discipline. If parents don't spank the kids will think no consequence of an action takes place. This results in conducting bad actions, from breaking stuff to bullying people. Parents are trying to reason with their kids. Kids should be taught with action results in consequences. They won't die if you spank them. Okay. We're gonna go. Most parents say allowing misbehavior slide is a bad idea because spanks also help with stress. Parents use spanks as punishment for going over limits. Without limits, things can be unsafe for the family. 58% of the world agrees spanking is good. They view it positively and effectively. Sparing the child spoils them. Research shows more than half of the population of kids in the world end up spoiled and have a 48% chance of a criminal record. Cha! In several articles, Times, Ruling Urus, and JD WordPress all say spanking protects kids and drives them away from long-range disasters. In the article, Say Yes to Spanking, Even When Society Pushes You to Say No, it states, it's sad and ridiculous that a society can't tell the difference between child abuse and loving spanks for discipline. Some can agree there are other solutions for discipline, but many agree nothing can have the same effect as a spank. Parents agree that they aren't using spanks to pain the kids, but more to produce a happy and obedient child with a peaceful house everyone wants. If we continue not to spank children, the world will rise in the amount of disobedient kids. It is also science saying spanks are good ideas. When a child touches a hot stove, they remove their hand off the stove. Why? Because it hurt them. Their brain is telling them, don't do that again because this will happen. Compare this to code. When this, then this. Don't, otherwise. And now think of a spank in a child's mind. When I do this, then I will be spanked. Don't do it again, otherwise I will be spanked again. I see my brother being spanked. I assure myself I don't make the same mistake again, otherwise I'll face the consequences. Spanks are, if I must, reminders to not repeat that action. Spanks, in my opinion, are personal choices and tools to develop proper behavior a parent or person expects. With spanks, the kids look to the consequences of what they will do. If I do this, will I be in trouble? Spanking is an effective tool to discipline. Hear that, Chloe?
Izzy here has tried to tell you that spanking should be allowed and that it is good for discipline. However, I disagree because parents can discipline their kids in another way. Why punish them with physical abuse? Kids will misbehave even more if parents continue to spank their children. When kids are spanked at a young age, it will sometimes lead to mental health issues. The kids will feel and show negativity. Based on what I read in the article, harmful effects of spanking a toddler can trigger bad behavior. The author states, children spanked when they are young as 15 months old displayed negative temperament and were less likely to show positive behaviors in the 5th grade and even into their teenage years. This means that children remember all the spanks from when they were little and will probably feel sad and negative as they get older. In conclusion, children will not behave appropriately if parents keep spanking children.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As mentioned by our first speaker, spanking children will help them understand they can't get away with anything they want. Chloe said that children are going to misbehave even more, but I completely disagree. Some may say that spanking won't help children, but I also disagree with that. If we don't spank these children, they will think they can do anything they want when they grow up. For example, they will think that it is okay to rob a store and take anything they want. Would you like criminals running on the streets of your house
No.
and mugging people every second?
No.
Okay, then. Studies have shown that from 1980 to 2011, the prisons have been growing full of children that had no punishment. Children are now willing to do their homework and study for tests because they fear the consequences. Spanking is important because spanking can shock your child into behaving better. Plus, spanking simply satisfies the parents' heat at the moment. Like, would you want your parent to be angry the whole day?
No, but they can get punished a different way.
But talking of that is just make them like forget it in 2 seconds.
Well, yeah, but there's other ways like taking away their allowance.
That'll just make them angrier.
But if you
The
take
children
away
are
their
there.
allowance, at least they don't get smacked or anything.
Spanking is not as bad as hitting. Spanking is just a slap on the butt.
The opposing team and Joshua say that spanking will help, but will it really help?
Yeah.
I disagree with them. Spanking is not child abuse. How is light spanking going to make a kid think they can get away with things? Therefore, they will not turn bad just because of one spank. Joshua states that kids can get away with everything without spanking, but if they didn't get spanked, they can get punished in a different way. Yes, they can. Since spanking can decrease confidence from a kid, parents should never spank their children.
No, I disagree. Why can't they spank their children?
They can talk it through with their children.
I guess. Because talking isn't like the most effective way either.
Well, they can take away some stuff and all that.
And
When a child gets spanked in public, they get embarrassed. Because of that, their self-esteem can go down, especially if their peers see them getting spanked. According to the article, Spanking Lowers Self-Esteem, the article states that children would think, what is wrong with me? And I hate myself. I remember a time when I saw a kid crying because he wanted a toy. His mom wouldn't let him buy the toy. The little boy got spanked and he hung his head low the rest of the shopping trip. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Caitlin, and my opponent here is
Eugene.
Today I'm going to be sharing what Joshua said and what Izzy said. Joshua's topic is kids think they can get away with anything, but the cause of that is spanking. Spanking has been proven to lower self-esteem, increases chance of bullying, and is unhealthy for the kids. For
But
example,
Joshua said that that kids were what? What did you say?
Keep on going, I'm not standing up, keep on going.
Oh, great. Just keep going.
later on, for example, spanking them in a calm voice makes them feel comfortable talking to the parents. Later on in the future, the kids have confidence and feel comfortable speaking to the parents. It's a win-win situation. Therefore, don't spank your kids. Izzy said spanking is good for discipline, right? Well, how is spanking good when it models aggression, increases chance of bullying, and is unhealthy for children? The list goes on and on. Does your teammates know what they're talking about? If so,
I think it's does your teammates know what you're talking about?
well, if spanking is a great way to discipline your kid, why is it banned in 43 countries? Oh, Eugene.
I don't know. Maybe it's in that year. Chloe, you have said that kids will not behave more, but spanking will make them fear to misbehave. Also, Naomi, you said that they will lose their self-esteem but spanking will make them embarrassed, so they won't do it again. Some may say spanking is bad, but spanking actually helps kids in school. Due to the fact, researcher Calvin Coolidge and Marjorie Ganu found out that kids smacked before 6 grew up to be more successful, and that there was not enough evidence to say that spanking harms most kids, according to the London Daily Mail. A smack can be considered a way to keep a child out of danger or arrest parental authority. Kids' grades can go up because of spanking. They will fear to get hurt again. If you give your child a timeout because he or she broke a rule, and you want a consequence, and you are screaming and angry when you give a timeout, it is not offensive. More than 70% of Americans agreed in 2012 that it is necessary to discipline a child with good
May I
hard
stop you there?
spanking.
You said 70% of America, right?
Yeah?
Just 70%, right? More of 70%? Well, spanking is banned in 43 countries, Eugene. 70% of America.
And what year was that in?
It's still banned. It's not year. It's every day, every year. It's a law, Eugene.
Okay, continue, please.
Over back in Asia, people can still spank. So kids are willing to do their homework and study and increase grades and test scores because they will fear the consequences of not doing their work. Spanking is important. For example, if you don't punish them, they will think they can do things without putting effort in it. What this means is that punishment is an important thing in life. I remember a time when my parents punished me and I did better in school. This is especially important to me because I learned a lesson.
Well, you finished?
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Eugene, for coming out to debate today.
Thank you.